My stepbrother proposed to his gold-digger girlfriend using my dead father's $500,000 family heirloom ring. He hosted a $1 million engagement party paid for by my father's company, smiling and toasting to his perfect future. He didn't know that I had already hacked the projector. And he definitely didn't know that the romantic slideshow he was about to play would actually be a detailed, high-definition presentation of his mother's prison sentence. My name is Lucas. I was 14 when my dad's private helicopter crashed during a storm while inspecting a new real estate project. He was a visionary architect, a man who built a billion-dollar development empire from nothing. They said it was a tragic accident. They said the engine just failed. Exactly 6 weeks after Dad was buried, my stepmom, Veronica, moved her son Tyler into my dad's private office. Veronica was Dad's second wife, a former model who married him 3 years ago. She had expensive taste, a fake smile, and a desperate need to be seen as high society. Her son Tyler was 20, a college dropout who wore designer clothes paid for by my dad and treated everyone like garbage. "Lucas, sweetie," Veronica told me, patting my shoulder at the reading of the temporary will. "Your father's passing was so sudden. The company needs a strong hand right now. Tyler is going to step up as vice president. You just focus on your little high school exams, okay?" I said nothing. I watched as they systematically erased my father. Tyler moved into the master suite. Veronica fired my dad's loyal executive team and replaced them with her friends. They bought a yacht, hosted weekly caviar parties, and treated me like a ghost haunting my own house. Tyler would purposely park his Ferrari in my father's reserved spot. They thought I was a depressed, clueless teenager wasting away in his room playing video games. They were right about the depression. They were fatally wrong about the clueless part. The turning point happened on the first anniversary of Dad's death. Tyler was hosting a massive pool party. I hid in my dad's old basement workshop, the only room Veronica hadn't remodeled because she thought it was too dusty. I was staring at my dad's favorite architectural model, a miniature of his first skyscraper. I traced the tiny wooden walls, missing him so much it physically hurt. As I pressed down on the miniature elevator shaft, I heard a click. The base of the model popped open. It was a hidden compartment. Inside was a heavy metal flash drive, and a handwritten letter sealed in wax. The handwriting was messy, rushed. "Lucas. If you are reading this, my worst fears have come true. Veronica is not who she claims to be. Do not trust her. Do not trust Tyler. Take this drive to Marcus Vance." Marcus Vance was my dad's original business partner, a ruthless corporate lawyer who retired 5 years ago. I snuck out of the house that night and biked 10 miles in the rain to Marcus's estate. When Marcus plugged the flash drive into his computer, the air in the room turned freezing cold. My father had been secretly investigating his own wife. The drive contained hundreds of audio recordings from hidden microphones Dad had placed in Veronica's car. We listened in horrified silence as Veronica and Tyler discussed setting up offshore shell companies. They were bleeding my father's empire dry, transferring millions into accounts in the Cayman Islands. But the audio file labeled August 12, 3 days before the crash, made me throw up. It was Tyler's voice. "The mechanic did exactly what we paid him to do. The rotor will fail mid-flight. As long as he takes the chopper to the site, the company is ours, Mom." I couldn't breathe. It wasn't an accident. They murdered him. I looked at Marcus. I expected him to call the police immediately. Instead, he closed the laptop, poured a glass of whiskey, and looked at me with eyes as cold as ice. "If we go to the police now, they will hire the best defense lawyers on earth. They will drag this out for a decade, and they will burn your father's company to the ground in the process. What do you want to do, Lucas?" "I want them to lose everything," I whispered. "I want them to feel exactly how I feel right now." Marcus smiled. "Then we play the long game." For the next 3 years, I became the ultimate disappointment. I acted like a lazy, apathetic rich kid. I grew my hair out, wore baggy clothes, and purposely got C's in school. Veronica and Tyler loved it. A lazy heir was a harmless heir. "Look at him," Tyler laughed one night at dinner, pointing his fork at me. "Dad's great legacy. Can't even pass basic calculus. Don't worry, little bro. I'll keep making the big bucks for us." I just shrugged and kept eating. What Tyler didn't know was that every night at 11 p.m., I climbed out my window and went to Marcus's office. While Tyler was out popping champagne at clubs, I was studying forensic accounting. While Veronica was hosting fashion shows, I was meeting with private investigators, tracing every single dollar they stole. I was secretly completing an accelerated online business degree. Marcus brought in former FBI financial analysts to train me. We built a shadow network of my dad's old board members, quietly buying back debt and securing voting rights. My father's real will, the one Veronica didn't know about, stipulated that upon my 18th birthday, if I could pass a rigorous competency test designed by the board, 80% of the company's shares would automatically revert to me. We waited. We gathered the evidence of the embezzlement. We gathered the bank transfers to the helicopter mechanic. We prepared the trap. And then, a month before my 18th birthday, Tyler announced his engagement. He was marrying a senator's daughter, securing his ultimate status in high society. They rented out the entire Grand Plaza Hotel for the engagement party. Over 600 guests were invited. Mayors, celebrities, billionaires. It was the perfect stage. The ballroom was dripping in white roses and crystal chandeliers. Tyler stood at the front, wearing a custom Tom Ford tuxedo, looking like a king. Veronica was dripping in diamonds that belonged to my mother. I sat in the darkest corner of the room, sipping sparkling water. I was wearing a cheap suit, playing my role one last time. In my pocket was a small remote control. Marcus and his team were waiting in the VIP suite upstairs, along with 3 federal agents we had briefed that morning. At 9 p.m., the lights dimmed. It was time for the engagement toast. Tyler took the microphone, wrapping his arm around his fiancée. Thank you all for coming. Tonight is about family. It's about building a legacy. My stepfather built a great foundation, but I am so proud to say that under my leadership, this company is reaching heights he never imagined. The crowd clapped politely. And now, Tyler smiled, my beautiful mother has prepared a video montage of our journey. Veronica beamed from the front table. The massive LED screen behind Tyler flickered to life. The romantic piano music started playing. I pressed the button in my pocket. The screen didn't show baby photos. It showed a massive, high-definition spreadsheet. It was the Cayman Islands bank records, showing exactly $42 million being transferred from the company pension fund into Tyler's personal account. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Tyler frowned, looking over his shoulder. Hey, AV guy, wrong file. Fix it, he barked into the mic. The screen changed again. This time, it was an email from Veronica to the offshore banker, make sure Lucas never sees these accounts. The idiot is too busy playing video games anyway. The room went dead silent. The senator, the bride's father, stood up, his face turning red. Then, the audio started playing over the massive concert speakers. It was Tyler's voice, crisp and clear, echoing through the ballroom. The mechanic did exactly what we paid him to do. The rotor will fail mid-flight. As long as he takes the chopper to the site, the company is ours, Mom. A woman in the front row screamed. Several investors dropped their glasses. The sound of shattering crystal echoed in the silence. Tyler dropped the microphone. His face was the color of a ghost. He looked completely paralyzed. Veronica jumped out of her chair, screaming, turn it off. It's fake. It's a deep fake. I stood up from my dark corner. I walked slowly down the center aisle, fixing my tie. It's not fake, Veronica, I said, my voice projecting clearly across the silent room. And neither are the FBI agents waiting at all for exits of this ballroom. Tyler looked at me, his eyes wide with a mixture of terror and disbelief. Lucas. What did you do? I passed my calculus test, Tyler, I smiled coldly. And then I audited your books. The chaos that followed was beautiful. The senator grabbed his daughter and stormed out, dragging her away from Tyler. Federal agents walked onto the stage in front of 600 elite guests and put Tyler and Veronica in handcuffs. As they marched Tyler past me, he was crying like a baby. Lucas, please. We're brothers. Please. I leaned in close to his ear. Don't ever park your Ferrari in my dad's spot again. Today, I am 19 years old. I sit in my father's massive corner office. Marcus is my chief operating officer. We recovered the stolen $42 million, stabilized the stock, and fired every single person Veronica had hired. Tyler and Veronica were charged with corporate fraud, embezzlement, and conspiracy to commit murder. Because they turned on each other in court, trying to blame one another for the helicopter crash, they both received 25 years in federal prison without the possibility of parole. Sometimes I visit my dad's grave. I don't cry anymore. I pour a glass of his favorite whiskey on the grass, and I look at the city skyline he helped build. They thought I was a depressed, clueless kid. They thought they could bury my father and steal his empire. But they forgot one simple rule of architecture: if you build your house on stolen ground, eventually, the real owner is going to tear it down.